What's going on? It's your boy Miles Cunningham. I am here again with Ed Zone, the big homie. You know what I'm saying? What's going on with you, Ed?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good. Every day's a blessing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Look, I just want to give the credit to Ed that he's been coming up with the topics, and he came up with another great topic today. And he's talking about relying on yourself to attract women. We spoke a little bit behind the scenes, and he was talking about how guys love to rely on everything else to try to attract women. We think about women wanting money and status and looks, all that nonsense. And it's like, a lot of times we take ourselves out of the equation, meaning that we take our own personality, our own identity out of the equation. And so we want to expand on that a little bit today and get guys to really be in touch with who they are, so they can really learn how to attract women the right way. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So Ed, take it away, man.
Yeah. First of all, shout out to the chat room. Thanks for taking your time to, listen to some game today. Just, chop it up with us. Basically, it's an epidemic out here of guys relying on everything except themselves in order to attract women into their lives, right? So, you got guys out here thinking, oh, if I make that $150,000 a year career, right? It's not a job, it's a career. So they must be impressed because I have a career, not a job. If they have a real nice car, if they have a real nice watch on their wrist, all of that stuff, they're thinking that women are like sea lions and that they're attracted to them shiny objects. Right. So they think that they'll lure women into their lives with that. Newsflash, as a lot of guys are finding out the hard way, that's not enough, right? It takes it takes a lot less than all that extra stuff you're putting outside to be the type of man that women really want in their life, right? So you got to have, obviously we say it over and over again, charisma, masculinity, leadership, assertiveness, aggressiveness at the right times, right? But what do we really mean by all that? I've said it one time, I've said it 2 times, I've said it 1,000,000 times, and I'll say it an infinite amount of times, right? Modern women are attracted to the same type of men that they were attracted to 10,000 years ago. What the hell does that mean? That means that 10,000 years ago, there were no 6-figure jobs, right? There were no Lamborghinis or Porsches or Benzes or real nice cars. There were no, real nice Rolexes or Hublots or Tussauds or really nice watches, right? It was just a man and his principles and his ability to survive in a harsh and rough world, right? Right. Could this man provide for her? Could this man protect her? Was this man competitive so that she didn't have to worry about other males trying to bump him off and take her, away from him, right? So when you're the type of guy who can rely on who you are, your personality, your masculinity, your charisma, and all that to get women, you will find that life will be a lot easier because you will be attracting women who like you for you. And when you taste that sweet nectar of women who are really not only sexually attracted to you, because that's the basic, but women who really like you, like your personality, like being around you, or will just do stuff for you without you asking. When you taste that sweet nectar, you'll be like a butterfly to a flower. You know what I mean? You'll be like a bee to a hive. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't get enough. You can't go back. Chris Rock was like, when women experience a higher level of sex, they can't go back, or when they have sex with a dude in his own place as opposed to his mama's house for the first time, she can't go back to a dude who's with his mom. When a man experiences a woman who's deeply attracted to him, he can't go back to some lukewarm woman who's like, I'll think about it, maybe I'll get back to you. Like you're not gonna go for that no more. You can't. Right. That's bitter to you now. You want something sweet and tasty, and that's what you're gonna deal with women who are deeply attracted to you. But you can only meet those type of women on a consistent basis if you lead with who you are instead of what you do or what you have.
Facts. And the thing is that I find that there's a sad part to this where when I feel like whenever I hear guys talk about looks, money, and status. Mm-hmm. What they're ultimately saying is that who they are is not good enough.
Yeah,
that's what they're ultimately saying, and they don't even realize that they're saying it. And what they don't understand is that if that's what you're ultimately saying about yourself, then how can you expect good situations or good results dealing with these women? You understand? A lot of these guys. They get on, these chicks are gold diggers and these chicks have no soul and these chicks is, they're horrible and this, that, and the third. And it's like, these chicks are gold diggers because you're leading with the gold. These chicks have no soul because you didn't come to them as a man of substance. You understand? I say this all the time. Females naturally follow your lead. No matter what it is you do, they follow your lead. So if you come to them as a man of substance, being honest, being consistent, having integrity, showing that you not only do you have value, but you understand the level of value that you behold within yourself, and you carry yourself as such, the woman will follow suit. Now, when guys hear me say the woman will follow suit, here's what they think, oh, so she's just going to jump on your dick. No. The woman will follow suit and take your lead, and then she'll ask herself some serious questions. She's like, do I have what it takes to deal with a man of this character, of this caliber? And a lot of times the answer is going to be no.
No, right.
A lot of times the answer is going to be no. So yes, you will have chicks that'll fall off. You will have chicks that you will have to charge to the game. You will have chicks that's going to charge themselves to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But when you meet the chick that asks herself the hard question and says, this man of character, of integrity, of quality, can I match or rise up to his level, to spend time with him, to be with him, to converse with him, to be his companion,
right?
To complement his experience in this thing called life.
Exactly.
And she says wholeheartedly, yes, I feel like I can do that. Let's give it a try. Let's give it a whirl. And she comes into your life and she deals with you with nothing but respect. She's on time with everything. She answers your calls. She does what you need her to do with no issues, no problems, no friction. And if there is issues, problems, and friction, she'll communicate that with you beforehand so you're not taken off guard, so you can actually make choices accordingly, and so on and so forth. That type of situation is a different type of situation. You understand? Like it's exactly what you're saying. Like you get to experience this level of cooperation. You get this quality of relation that you have with this woman is like nothing else you've ever experienced, because chicks, they cute and they're good in bed, but they bring drama, they bring disrespect, they bring a lot of complications that don't add to your life. You understand? But when you get into who you are as a person and you bring that forward, that will attract the right type of female that will allow her to click with you, to genuinely click with you, right? Because she's seeing what's in front of her, and she, like I said, she has to ask herself those tough questions, like, damn, can I hang with this dude? Am I on this dude's level? Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? Does this make sense? And then if she really feels that way, then you'll see that she'll fall right in. But you got some more?
Yeah, like all that you said just now, Miles, is how it's supposed to go. That's how it's supposed to go. If men are thinking right. Mm-hmm. But we all know, and the guys in the chat room too, they know that most guys are not thinking like that. They're thinking, how do I impress her? That's why I came up with this topic, because it's an epidemic of guys out here trying to impress women. You got guys out here who will take a woman on a date to Salt Bay's restaurant, like to some $600 steakhouse for a first date. Some chick that they don't know from a hole in the ground, right? Because they're trying to impress her. He's trying to rely on everything except himself to get that woman. He knows what he wants from her, but he has no clue how to get it. Once again, like I said before, he thinks she's after that shiny, dangling object, right? And this is a show that was talked about on this channel, like in other channels, like months ago, but I wanted to bring it up again because it's too real. It's called Sex Life. I'm sure the guys in the chat know it. I'm sure you know it. On Netflix, Sex Life. Every now and then Netflix slips up and releases a show that has a little bit too much truth in there. And Sex Life is one of them shows, right?
Once in a while they slip up, right?
Yeah, everything. Because they also had that 365 movie like from years ago. The movie was terrible, but the basic ideas inside of it were on point. So with Sex Life, you see this guy Cooper, right? The buttoned up, the suit, the buttoned up shirt, the square jaw, looks for all those looks money status guys. Cooper's what they would call a Chad, right? He had the square jaw, he's in shape, he's got the nice expensive suit. He doesn't have a job, he has a career, right? An investment banker. Those guys make high 6 figures to low 7 figures, yo. So he's making bang. They got a huge house in the suburbs. Everything a girl could possibly ask for. She's living that fairy tale life, right? And Cooper, in his mind, is thinking that's more than enough to make a woman happy. I'm an investment banker. I make this good money. I'm a responsible guy. We have multiple cars. We have a nice, quiet life in the suburbs and a front yard and a backyard. And that woman was still thinking about her boyfriend from 10 years ago.
Right.
Brad. Cooper and Brad. Those are the most cliche names. But she was thinking about her boyfriend from 10 years ago, right? The guy who gave her those thrills and chills mentally, physically, and spiritually. And I always say, like, when you can activate a woman's mind, the physical is a given, right? Then when you handle the physical properly, like you handle her body properly, that's when you activate the spiritual, and that's when she becomes obsessed with you, like Billy from Sex Life was with Brad.
Can you rewind and just
Sure. like E40,
yeah.
sprinkle me, man. But yeah, so yeah, like, so I'm gonna say that again, right? When you can activate a woman's mind first, the physical is a given. When you handle the physical properly and you handle her body the way it's supposed to be handled, because every woman is different, every woman likes different things, right? Once you handle that properly, you will activate her spiritual side. And that's when she becomes addicted to you and obsessed with you like you're crack. Now, a lot of dudes think in their mind they might want to be crack to a woman, but that could be dangerous. There's a lot of responsibility. But that's what you open yourself up to. You know what I'm saying? If you know how to manage it, it can work out very nicely. But that's what you can achieve when you lead with who you are. I use Cooper as an example because he led with what he did. Right. And then when he opened her laptop and found her journal of all the things she used to do with Brad and how much he excited her and all that stuff, he tried to be like Brad because he didn't have a strong self of who he was. Right. All he was his business degree and his job. He wasn't an actual man that could stir up anything inside her. Right. She even said in the show that they hadn't really had sex or whatever for like a year and a half or something insane or ridiculous like that. So because he was so taken up in his career, right? That's what he became. He lost complete sight of who he was. And that's the average guy nowadays, right? And the average guy nowadays is not just trying to lead with money, because the average dude is making like 50,000, 40,000 a year. So most dudes ain't ballers like that. A lot of dudes are also trying to lead with weed and drink. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of dudes will be like, yeah, come over to the crib and let's smoke something, right? They'll try to get her with the smoking, right? Because they thinking it'll relax me, it'll relax her, and then, it'll make it easier for me to do what I want to do. But the thing is, you're still relying on something outside of you, right? What makes you, like, when you're relying on the dinners and the drinks and the smoke and all that stuff, what makes you different from all the other million guys who are trying to do the same thing?
Right. Exactly.
You are not a carbon copy. You are the only one of you. You're the only one of you that was ever made, is made, and ever will be made. So you should revel in that and relish that and use that to say, listen, you're never going to meet another guy like me. This is your only chance. It's the last train leaving. You might as well get on or miss out. What you going to do? But the antithesis of what you just said about how, she's supposed to be asking yourself how she fits in your life and all that, because women are human mirrors. They reflect whatever energy you give to them.
Right.
Instead of a lot of guys setting things up so that women ask themselves that, what they end up doing, like I said before, is saying, how can I impress her? How can I make her want to give me sex? Right? Like sex is some treat or reward for you being on your best behavior, like you're a dog or something. Right? Like she's throwing you a bone. Here, boy. Like you want a Scooby snack, right? No, sex is not a Scooby snack. It is a mutual exchange. And the other day I used this metaphor that I got from you guys with a girl. I was like, stick your finger in your ear, right? Which one feels better, the finger or the air? She's like, no, she's like, it's gonna feel the same. The air feels better. Yeah, I was like, exactly. Y'all want it y'all like it and enjoy it way more than we do. We can get our pleasure regardless, but y'all, the act of penetration and all that is much more enjoyable for y'all. So I say all that to say this: when you know as a man that you can cause a woman intense pleasure physically, mentally, and spiritually, why the hell would you want to lead with anything else but yourself? You're all you need. And I'm gonna add this too. When I was unemployed in my early 20s, because there were times when I was unemployed, right? I got more action, more sex, more dates than when I had a job. When I was employed, it became harder. Like I still could get it in and all that stuff, but it took more work and more effort. When I was unemployed, right? And I couldn't rely, and I had nothing to rely on but myself.
Right.
Things were a whole hell of a lot easier in a lot of cases, right? Because I was like, yo, I got nothing to rely on but me. So let me show her me, because I don't have money status to rely on, right? All I got is me.
That's great. Nah, I mean and that's very interesting. That's super interesting how that worked out. You understand? Like, and see, that's a part of the the realities of the game that a lot of guys don't want to face, which is why they try to lead with the wallet and why they try to lead with all the shiny things. You understand? But see, I wanted to get you to talk about appearance, right? Because when I was coming up, I always, like, in my mind, I always had it in, I always had it in my mind that if a guy dressed nice, or if a guy, like wore like shiny, like had a shiny watch, or, dressed a certain way, or he was automatically trying to impress somebody, right? And later on in life, I kind of realized that looks and appearance is two different things. Your looks is how God made you, right? But your appearance, if you understand who you are as a person, and you do everything with, in good faith and with honesty, your appearance can be an extension of who you are, right? Meaning that, the way you choose to dress, the cleanliness of your clothes, if your clothing is ironed or not, you know what I'm saying? Like your coordination, your color choices, your style of dress. Like, if you're trying to wear suits, or if you're trying to be formal, or even if you're trying to be casual but very neat and clean and and coordinated, right? And I think what guys need to understand is that your appearance is an extension of who you are, and how you decide to dress is an accent to the experience that to the unique experience that you provide to that female. You understand? Because a lot of times we get it twisted, where it's like we simply just go try to buy the most expensive thing to impress. You understand? And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, going shopping and buying things that are extensions of your own personal taste. You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, like, I'm the type of guy that I'll go to Ross, I'll go to Burlington, Marshalls, and those type of places where the clothing is cheap. And I'll find shirts and stuff that fit me, you understand, and that I can use to coordinate with the rest of my wardrobe.
Right.
And it's not the most expensive things, but when I put it on, based on my personality, based on how I'm choosing to express myself visually, right, through clothing, I'm able to, enhance the experience, the personal experience, and the specific experience that I'm giving to that female.
Right.
You understand? Right. So if you could expand on that a little bit, because see, I don't want guys to be like, oh, well, Miles, you're sitting there with your shades on and you got a chain on and whatever. But trust me, everything about what I have on is affordable to me. You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing about what I have on that I'm trying to be impressive to anyone. Everything I have on is literally how I want to look. Kind of like in the Matrix, where when they went from the real world to the Matrix, everybody had on a certain type of suit, and they explained that was the mental projection that you have of yourself based on who you are. Right. You understand? And I think guys need to look at it a little bit more. Since we're popping pills from the movie, then we need to look at it kind of like that, where it's like, I'm not dressing to impress anybody. I'm dressing because this is how I want to express myself. But expand on that a little bit for me.
Yeah, listen, I was a JCPenney guy, yo. They could have hired me as a greeter at JCPenney. I was there so often, yo, because I would look for all those little like esoteric, like all those little like out of the blue, out of the ordinary type of T-shirts that they would buy. Because like during the summertime, I love wearing all types of T-shirts and stuff, and I would look for all these like printed tees that they would have, like that have maybe cartoon characters. Because I'm a nerd. I will freely admit it. I love being a nerd. It's awesome, right? So I would get like regular show T-shirts, and I would get like, all different types of tees, because that was my style. I already had identified in myself how I wanted to express myself, right? And I made sure too, when I would do it, I didn't see other people really wearing the same type of stuff I had, right? In fact, it's a funny story. Like, there was one time years ago, I was wearing a shirt that said T-Mex, right? It had a Tyrannosaurus on it wearing a sombrero, and the letter on it said T-Mex, right? So I would wear that shirt, and one chick, she came up to me, she was like, "I like your shirt. It made me ha ha ha." Later on, I ended up sleeping with that chick, yo, just off a shirt, like just off a damn T-shirt, yo, a green T-shirt with a T-Rex wearing a sombrero on it, yo. I didn't even was paying this chick no mind. She came up to me about a shirt. Right. So like when you talk about appearance, it's very important as a man that you set your own style.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of guys nowadays like to follow trends, so they want to wear what everybody else is wearing.
Right.
When everybody else tries to stand out the same way, nobody stands out.
Exactly.
Right. So yes, you're absolutely right about color coordination. You don't want to wear a whole bunch of clashing colors and all that stuff, right? And, you know, if any dudes need help with that, you know, sometimes they could talk to like a young female cousin, relative, whatever, to help them dress if they want. But yeah, as long as it's a style that's unique to you and you like it, and you're not wearing it because you think other people will like it, which is the central theme of today's topic.
Yes.
Doing things for you.
Mm-hmm.
And not to try to impress other people, because the masses are asses. Most people are idiots anyway. Why do I, you know what I'm saying? I don't care about the opinion of somebody who has no effect on my life whatsoever, right? So I am going to wear what I want to wear, as long as it's clean, as long as it's neat, as long as I don't have barbecue stains on it and stuff like that. I'm good.
Right.
Straightened, it's ironed. I smell good. All smell.
Hygiene, cleanliness,
important.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a girl tell me one time that I smelled like nothing, and I was like, hell no! Like, I gotta change that, right? Not just for the women, but for me. So you know, I eventually, like, immediately, I wanted to make sure that I like the way I smell at all times,
Yes.
Right. So you know, investing in the way you smell, that's a huge part of your appearance, because women have much more sensitive nose than we do. So they're better at smelling us than we are at smelling them. All their senses are more sensitive in general, right? So they got more nerve receptors, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into all the science. But the thing is, because their noses are so sensitive, your smell can do the talking for you when you approach a woman. Before you even open your mouth, as soon as you hit her with that, and she goes, what is that?
And just to interject real quick.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
Between men and women, you have to remember, we're still animals. Like, it's very animalistic. So scent is super important, but go ahead.
Exactly. No, scent is extremely important. So when you roll in scent, and then when you roll in the sound of your voice, not everybody's gonna have a Barry White voice out here. You know, genetics has a lot to do with that. But
AKA everybody not gonna sound like Ed Zone.
There we go. Yeah, but you know, but what you got to do is, even if you have like a higher pitched voice, right? You can lower it a little bit, speak a little slower to show that you're confident, right? Because people who are nervous tend to talk very fast, or con artists, Candace Owens, excuse me, but that's something else. But but people who are sure of themselves and believe in what they're saying tend to speak slowly, measured, calmly, right? The way you speak, the way you dress, have your own style. Do not follow the crowd, right? Have a style that works for you. Like I said, as long as it's clean, everything's ironed, everything's neat, nothing has stains on it and all that. Boom, you're good to go. Make sure your smell is on point, all of that. But the number one person you should always be doing that for is yourself, because you got to fall in love with yourself first before any woman could ever fall in love with you. You got to love yourself first, because women, once again, are human mirrors. They are going to mirror the energy that you are putting out. If you're putting out, oh, I'm not sure, I ain't really all that like that. On a scale of 1 to 10, how I feel about myself, I'm like I guess kind of like, I'm like a 6, I guess, or whatever. Like, when you talking about yourself like that in your head, when you're telling yourself that every day, women are gonna smell it on you. Like those guys. Everybody's seen House Party, right? Remember the 3 bullies from House Party? I smell pussy. Like that's what women are gonna be thinking when they're around you. They're gonna smell that weak energy. They're gonna smell the fact that you doubt yourself constantly, that you're second guessing and editing yourself while you talk to her. Right? Because you're so busy trying to impress her, and you're so scared of her saying no, right? Because you're so scared of her saying no that you are doing anything and saying anything you think she wants to hear in order to try to capture her in that moment, like she's a Pokemon or something. As soon as you live for yourself, and when you really live for the man you are, and you love the person you are, guess what's going to happen? You're going to attract the same type of women who are on the same wavelength as you. You're going to attract women who are like, wait a minute, this guy's sure of himself. I'm a little unsure of myself. He gives me the confidence where I'm lacking, and he balances me out. And this is a guy that I think I can follow. Because as much as women want to talk about they're strong and independent and all that, and they don't need a man, most women are starving and thirsty for a man that they can follow.
Facts.
Right? But when men are running around trying to be like, put all types of Christmas ornaments on themselves and use weed and money and looks, money, status, and all that foolishness to try to get women, guess what happened? They're going to attract women who might use them for looks, money, status, who might even have sex with them one night and then never talk to them again. But they're not going to be able to build relationships and get that attention, affection, and attraction from women that they so desperately desire, because it is a natural desire to want to be around feminine energy, to want to be around women, to want affection from women, right? And it's really that simple. But guys overcomplicate things to their own, to their own detriment. They hurt themselves when they do all this.
Facts. Another thing I wanted to touch on real quick, because we coming up on that half-hour mark. That so when we say rely on yourself, you have to understand that there's a lot of different aspects to you as a man. So we talked about yourself, your personality, your own charm, confidence. We talked about the extension of your appearance and how you express yourself through clothing, through, how you take care of yourself, your hygiene, your smell, cologne, how you coordinate your clothing, colors, all that stuff. That has to do with who you are as a man and as a person. Another thing that's very important as well is to do activities that also are an extension of who you are.
Right.
You understand? And a lot of guys are scared to do it. Like for example, you mentioned that that you're a nerd and you're proud of it. You understand what I'm saying? And there's a lot of guys that would definitely love to just go to a comic book store and chill for hours checking out comics and figurines and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, and meet the girl at the comic book store.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? If that's your thing, if you love art, meet the girl at the museum. If you love playing hacky sack, tell her to meet you at the park.
Right.
Whatever it is, if you love fitness, tell her to meet you at the park. Let's do a workout. I had a guy calling the other day. He said he does boxing and fitness. I said, yo, have you ever invited a girl on a date?
He said no.
He said no. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. A guy at every turn, we are leaving ourselves out of the equation. And I'm like, that is what is causing these women to get bored, because they're not experiencing different men. They're experiencing the same guy.
Man. Same guy over and over again.
Exactly. You understand? So can you expand on that a little bit, about using your individuality to how it extends to the type of activities that you do with a female, like on a date, so to speak?
Using your individuality will save you a lot of time, because when you invite a woman with you to do something that you were going to do anyway, you weed out the time wasters, because if she shows a lack of interest, you already know you and her ain't on the same plane. Facts. Right? Like, let's say you're a guy who likes science museums, right? Right. And I remember, let's say you're a guy who likes science museums and you invite a chick to a science museum, for a first date, whatever. And she goes, I like art museums. I hate science museums. You already know that you and her are not on the same page. But what a lot of guys would do is they would compromise, right? Because once again, they're afraid to hear no. They're afraid to lose potential pussy. And they just want women's company in their life so bad that they'll do it at almost any cost, including their own dignity and their own time and their own self-worth, right? So a lot of dudes would compromise about, okay, we could go to an art museum, knowing in his mind he hates art museums, he doesn't want to go to that, but he'll go along just to appease her.
Right.
And she's not stupid. She knows you're doing it just to appease her, which makes her like you even less than she already did.
But so, I get a free ride to the art museum.
Yeah. Right. So she likes you even less than she already did. So now you're pretending to like the statues and everything, and then you're like the girl from Coming to America where Prince Hakeem was like, what movies do you like? She like, whatever you like. That's these guys nowadays. She's like, I like museums. I like whatever museum you like. Like they become the mirror of the woman.
Right.
Women don't want a damn mirror. They want a man to follow. They want a man who they not only to follow, but who they feel safe enough and comfortable enough to follow. Right. Because when you're a guy who doesn't know what direction you're going in life, when you asking woman where she wants to go on a date, because guys are still doing this apparently, when you're doing all that, she's like, I don't feel safe around this guy. I'm already trying to figure my life out and figure my plans out. Now I got to have the extra responsibility of figuring plans out for this guy. Exactly. He's supposed to be doing that. Exactly. I'm supposed to be sitting back and chilling. It's like this is a side note, when a woman's complaining and nagging a lot when she's around you, it's because of something you're not doing. You didn't manage the situation correctly enough so that she could feel relaxed. And it's not about going out of your way to make women feel comfortable and all that. No, it's managing and regulating situations so she ain't got nothing to complain about. Right. She got to look hard to find something to complain about. And that's when you give her something to do to keep her mind busy. Right. So she can't even look for something to complain about, right? Exactly. Like at the end of the day, the whole dating game is very simple. It's about keeping the power in your hands as a man. right? Because the way it turns out, all depends on you. So when you keep the power in your hands and stop giving women all this power, because women don't really have power like that, to be honest with you, right? They have the power that men allow them to have. And if people allow you to have power, it ain't real power, because real power is taken. It's never given. We have the power innately from the day we're born, right? So the more men just realize how powerful it is to be a man. I do have, like I said, I have a video on my YouTube channel about being a man is not a crime. Right. And in that video, I tell people how powerful it is to be a man. That is one of the most powerful things you can be. Own that. Right. Own every single piece of that in every single fiber of your soul. Right. Once you do that and you be the best man you can be, whatever it is, whether it's best at your career, best at whatever hobbies you have, whatever it is, once you fully own that, you're going to radiate confidence. And now women will automatically want to impress you. They'll automatically start whatever you like. Now she'll be like the girl from Coming to America. Oh yeah, man, this sandwich is really good. She's like, yes, I like whatever sandwich you like. Now she's gonna start doing that for you,
right?
Because you radiate so much confidence that she's like, I got to follow this guy because I haven't seen a guy like this in years.
Facts. Now that's real talk. And I just want to expound a little bit on what you said about a woman kind of like, you know, when you show a level of any level of inconsistency, it makes women uneasy.
Yes.
And what we're talking about as far as relying on yourself, it really just comes down to you understanding who you are and leading with that at all times consistently.
Yes.
You understand? So she begins to see a pattern of how you make decisions, why you make the decisions that you make. She starts to realize, wow, everything he says, everything he does, every decision he makes has something to do with who he is, honestly.
Exactly.
And so she starts to get a full understanding of who you are. And as you consistently keep up that type of behavior, she begins to trust in who you are, because she starts to see the consistency. But when you're over here trying to compromise, trying to make her happy, trying to go to the art museum when you really wanted to go to the science museum, she sees your discomfort. She sees your level of uneasiness. She sees your lack of consistency, and it starts to make her uneasy. You understand? So then that's when the drama comes in, the disrespect, all the different things that you claim you don't like about dating. That's when it all comes in. You understand what I'm saying? So that's very important. Consistency is what we're really talking about. Relying on yourself, because the thing is, no matter where you go, there you are.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? And what that means is no matter what environment you're in, no matter what girl you're talking to, it's still the same you standing there. Exactly. So for you to try to switch up and flip and change and compromise who you are of course, there's times that we code switch to survive, because you got to code switch a little bit when you go to work, because you're dealing with
definitely,
and so on and so forth. I get it, but when you're dealing with women, bro, you got to be exactly who you are, because as the relationship continues, she's gonna get to know who you are anyway. So you might as well just let her know exactly who you are from the beginning. But like I said, I want to keep these short, because I want the sizzle to keep going. Ed, is there anything else you want to plug real quick before we get off?
Yeah, I mean, I saw some people in the chat asking about my YouTube channel. So my YouTube channel is Edzone, EDDZONE. You can follow me there. I have a recent I got videos on, self-improvement, manhood, dating, nutrition, because there's a lot of poisonous foods out here. I'm telling you how to navigate the whole nutrition scene as well. One of my most recent videos is called the anti-estrogen diet, and it helps men, avoid foods that raise your estrogen levels, which I think is a reason why a lot of guys are having trouble with women out here too. I think it's a biological thing, because just to go on a little science tangent, every generation of men over the past 50 years, the average testosterone levels have been dropping, and women respond to high testosterone. So when you are a guy in your 20s who can't get it up, and you don't really have the desire to talk to women and all that, women can smell that on you, and that is going to repel them from you. So when you can start improving yourself mentally, physically, nutritionally, and all that, a lot of things will start to improve in your life. So definitely check out Edzone. You know what I'm saying? Like it's worth it, and I'll be uploading more videos in the future.
All right, cool, man. Appreciate you for hanging out. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Shout out to Mr. Lucario. Shout out to April MC for throwing the links up there. Appreciate you. And that's pretty much it, guys. Rely on yourself, man. Like we said earlier, you always have the advantage because there's only one of you. You understand? Out of the the 7 point something or 8 billion people on the earth, there's just one of you. Even if you're a twin, you're still different from your twin.
Yes.
You understand? So
my bad, bro. I just got to say shout out to Zatiti Cherry. Yeah, I'm on that regular show, bro.
He was going heavy in there. Facts. Yeah, shout out to him. So continue to get into who you are. You understand? Let that be, because a lot of guys are looking for a place of comfort, right? Nobody wants to deal with the pain of rejection and all the things that we have to deal with. So rely on you. Find a place of comfort in who you are. You understand? Because that's the only place you're going to find comfort. You're not going to find comfort in a female, and you're not going to find comfort in life in general. You can only find comfort in your own identity. So work on that, build it up to the point where you're comfortable, and rely on that. All right? So
no doubt.
As always, guys, you guys know what it is. The truth is inside you, and we are out of here. Peace. Got to end the broadcast.